Saturday night, you'll see blood and guts.
What has he got left in the tank?
He's going to get found out against the special ones.
Everybody's got an opinion.
Because I don't think he's got it in him.
He shocked me.
Never liked him anyway, to be honest with you.
When I do these face-offs, normally I say handshake. You gonna get a handshake? Let's get down to business. 5 versus 5. We've been waiting for this one. The trailer kind of amped it up a bit as well. I thought the trailer was just magnificent. It really was that good. I've spoke to 20 boxing journalists and I've got them to kind of give me how they think this is going to play out. Yeah.
Are there 20 boxing journalists?
There's quite a few. 20 people asked. Zhang Wilder 11, Zhang 9.
In my opinion,
Won't go the distance.
everything will come down to this last fight. We may need a knockout for 4 points to come from behind to win. Or we might just need to not lose. And Zhang just needs a win on point, by any means necessary.
That'd be amazing,
Or
isn't it?
Zhang may need to win by knockout to win.
The loser goes right down the pecking order. Wilder in his last fight looked dreadful. Yeah. He looked dreadful. And there were reasons for it, but he looked dreadful. Zhang just faded in the latter rounds. I mean, after he had Parker in trouble in the 8th round. I'm not taking anything away from
Put him down twice, yeah?
Yeah, he put him down and he's powerful and he just seemed to, went off the boil at the end. He's training hard. Like everyone's training hard for this because it's important. He's a big puncher and I just feel that if he can get out there and be the boss of the fight, to be the boss, and he's a big guy, if he can do that, I think then he can stop him. Because for me, this fight is about Deontay. What has he got left in the tank? Because the last time out, he shocked me. He absolutely shocked me watching him.
Problem is with Zhang, he's such a lump that it'll just be interesting to see whether he walks Wilder down. Because if he does, I mean, he did that against Parker, and listen, Parker come back unbelievably, but you saw, what's he, 21, 22 stone? The shots on the, I mean, they weren't even clean shots. Like the Joyce knockout was a clean, flush knockout. These were shots, and you see Parker go down as if to say,
he's heavy-handed, yeah.
Sickening. And I think Deontay actually has got to hold his feet and just ping the straight right hand down the southpaw.
Quite heavy, that.
No, massive. I mean, just can't take a shot. That's all. But it is gonna and Parker said 2 massive punches. He said, I think Zhang's got the heavier hands. Deontay didn't really land that clean on Parker. But Frank's right, really. This is about Deontay Wilder. And actually what he says, down the pecking order, might be the lot for either man.
Daniel Dubois, Hrgovic. Dubois 7, Hrgovic 13. People think Hrgovic is going to do a job here.
This is a guy who's looked great in the gym, looked great in spot. Everyone's talked about Hrgovic for a long time. The only fights, really, of competitive note that he's been in has been Zhilei Zhang. And that was actually a fight that could have gone either way. I mean, his father passed away not long before that. It was a bit of a tough time for him, but no excuses. And listen, we've since found out Zhang's a good operator as well, So this is kind of like the acid test for him. And Daniel can really punch. I think Hrgovic is a strong favourite in this fight. But again, only if he's what everyone's been saying he is after all these years. How many times have we seen someone gets talked up and all of a sudden they get hit on the chin, gets a bit tough, and you're sitting there going, I can't believe it. Hrgovic has got to prove it. And by the way, when we talk about the opportunities for the fighters on this card, I mean, he talked about Nick Ball. If Nick Ball wins, he's going to be in a massive unification fight, right? The winner of this fight is basically
fighting for a world
title. Going
title.
to fight Anthony Joshua for the world, probably for the world title.
Maybe at Wembley Stadium.
Yeah, I mean,
that's where we want to be.
And if it's Dubois against AJ coming off a Hrgovic win, I mean, Frank's already done a great job of him because he's made him an absolute fortune. He's 26. It's like, if he loses, you'd think normally, where does he go? But he's probably still got another 5-6 years in his prime.
You've got 2 big punches in, and like I said, Dubois got everything. He's got youth on his side, and they've sparred. They've had about 4 or 5 sparring sessions in the past.
And Hrgovic has handled him, right? Or no?
No, that's not what I heard. I mean,
it was a long time.
My source told me different.
Remember, he's what, 5-6 years younger than Hrgovic. So when he sparred with him, he was a young man.
Stop reading Twitter.
That's my source.
And he's a very, Martin Bowers, he says exactly how it is. He said they were tough sparring for both of them. He has everything. He's got speed, he's got power, he's got a good boxing brain, and like I said early on when we're speaking to Eddie, it is about heart and mind. It's about his heart and his mind. And if he can get that into where it should be, and I believe he is there in that moment, then he can win this fight. He's got to go out there and be the boss. As soon as that bell goes, he's got to go out there and he's got to use speed against Hrgovic. That's what he has to do. Behind that jab, speed. And if he does that, he can break him up, and I think he can stop him.
All right, this one. Ooh. Raymond Ford, Nick Ball. You like Nick Ball, don't you?
Well, he says I'm going to be a bigger fan or something.
Nick Ball 12, Raymond Ford 8.
Wow.
People think Nick Ball. It could be a bit of British bias. I spoke to a lot of British journalists.
Yeah.
Could be that.
It's a very tough fight for both of them. But I believe in Nick, and each time he's another fighter. We've increased the quality of the opponent. I mean, it should be a unification. That was a Liberty what happened that last fight. It should be a unification fight. But each time we've stepped him up, he found the key to the door, and he's done tremendously well. What I do know, the fight will be fought at a fierce pace because he's got a great engine, and he's a very difficult fighter to fight. People think he just walked forward, but he's hard to hit. At least I hope he's going to be. He's hard to hit. He slips. He gets out of range. He just little nuances gets in there and makes people pay. And for him, I think he's one of them again. He's getting better and better every fight, but he's in with a good opponent, tough opponent, and there's a lot at stake for both of them. It's not just the world title fight. None of them want to lose on this platform. They're in Saudi. There's big purses being paid. They want to be back here again. And what's happening is the winners, you do a job in style, you're back.
Stay on, don't you? I think people were concerned with Raymond Ford's weight.
I know that obviously everyone says, but his weight right now, having just spoken to Brian Peters, is in a much better place than it was for the Komatov fight. And when he went into the ring in the Komatov fight, he actually said, this is my last fight at 126 because of how he made the weight. Look at the war that he was involved in. Look at the fact that he stopped Komatov with 12 seconds to go, having struggled at the weight. This time, he's done the weight perfectly. I mean, I hired a nutritionist, I hired a chef and paid for it all because that's how much we want to win this thing, right? And Ray Ford, we talk about levels, and the levels of maybe a Willie Hutchinson. I've got a feeling Ray Ford has so many more levels, and I think he could be a Shakur Stevenson, could be a Devin Haney, and he's from that same mould, trains with Shakur. If he's at his level now, it's going to be an unbelievable fight. If he's what I think he is, he schools and stops Nick Ball. Because Nick Ball, as much as I love him, one thing he will not be, and I'm sorry, he will not be an elite featherweight that will go on and beat all the other champions. He's going to get found out against the special ones. And I think Ray Ford is special.
Look, we've all got our opinions, and we're going to fall out soon. Now we've all got our.
I can see him starting to get a little bit angry.
We got. Who gets angry? We got our opinions, and quite rightly so, because we're our guys. We're behind them. We're invested. And I don't mean financially. We're invested in them. We want them to win. But I just feel that with Nick, I think he's such a super little fighter, and I do think he'll come through this, and I think he'll go on and do some special things.
Hamza Shiraz, Ammo Williams. Shiraz 11, Williams 9.
Wow.
People think that Shiraz is going to get it done. Your team captain.
Well, they're 50-50 fights. A couple of them might be 60-40, but they're 50-50 fights. That's why we made them. Ammo's a good fighter. He's a good fighter, there's no doubt, and I want him to be a good fighter, because I think if as I hope and believe my captain will come through in Hamza, he's beaten a good fighter. Yeah. But at the moment, he's cooking, he's he's looking really good, he's doing everything that's been asked of him. Each time we've stepped him up, he's done it in style, and he's hit a run of form in his last 4 or 5 fights. He's been quite tremendous, and it will be a tough fight, but I believe it's a winnable fight for us.
You said wow.
Yeah, because I thought more would go with Hamza. This fight, I think, will be over in 4 or 5 rounds. And Ammo, I rate Hamza Sheeraz. I really do. And I like him a lot. I don't think he's ever been anywhere near the kind of quality as Amo Williams, especially the freshness of Amo Williams, right? When you use that power and almost like a manifestation, the more I talk to Amo Williams, the more I fancy him in this fight. And that fight is also, I mean, every fight's important, but that's their captain. If Hamza Sheeraz stops Amo Williams for 4 points, we are bang in trouble. Bang in trouble.
Bang
so
in trouble.
We need to win that fight. If we win that fight and take away the captain's points, we're in a fantastic position. Honestly, I think that's the fight of the card. I really do. I think it's going to be an
Could be
absolute.
For a title,
yeah, it is. And the winner's going to go on and fight for probably the middleweight world title. So, but a brilliant fight.
And that tells you a lot about the fighters. They're at that level.
Yeah.
But Hamza, it's a terrible pun, but he's got to grab the tiger by the tail and do the business. And he's very capable of doing it.
I like the pun. 13 went Richard, 7 Hutchinson.
Okay.
That's what they've done.
Oh, then there's 13 smart fellas and ladies. I mean, I think that I'm gonna. It's quite friendly between me and Frank at the moment. Saturday night, you'll see blood and guts, not just in the ring, but I'm gonna actually do a little job myself on these boys, not just my fighters, but his fighters, because I tell you what,
psychological warfare kicked in.
That fight there, like Craig Richards posted on his Instagram, right? The flight out here, business class, legs were up, arriving at the airport, the flowers, and I just messaged him. I said, "Some life, boy," and he goes, "I could get used to this," and I said, "Just win, just win." That's what they're fighting for, these guys. And so for me, that is such a good fight to kick off because it is a pure 50-50, pure 50-50. The reality is Frank backs his man, I back my man. It's impossible to say categorically, I know my man wins that fight because, for Craig, he's come close before. He lost to Bivol, 115, 113, lost to Boazzi, under Shane McGuigan, punching on. Willie Hutchinson's kind of had all this potential, now started to look good. He may have other levels. I want to see what happens to Willie Hutchinson when it gets horrible, when Craig takes him to the trenches, because I don't think he's got it in him.
Fight and talk. Fight and
It
talk.
is fight. Well, it's a fight. But you know what? That's what Craig Richards should be trying to do, because that's what he's in there for. That's what he's getting paid for. So Willie, he's got a lot to prove. He had that loss. He's doing extremely well, and I put him down as being one of our best young prospects. I think he's Scotland's most decorated amateur.
Yep.
And that fight he got beat. He just lost his way, and he just unravelled. And I'm sitting there thinking, what happened there? But he's back now, and this is his big test. This is his big test now, and he's got to show what he's all about. I hope that Craig's kept that bunch of flowers, because he's going to be a bridesmaid.
Such a big fight to kick off.
It's a great
the momentum.
fight.
Yeah.
Because it's one of those that's the pure 50-50.
So that's it. And but you know what? Everybody's got an opinion. That's a good thing about sport, and it's certainly a good thing about boxing. And the journalists have got an opinion, and we've got our opinions. But one thing's for sure, you're going to find out on Saturday night.
Unbelievable card. I mean,
this is a great card.
That just goes to show you, how often do we see a fight with 5 fights at world level that no one can split, all on one night?
When I do these face-offs, normally I say handshake. Are we going to get a handshake?
Of course we are.
There you go. Good luck to both of you. Thank you.